As I mentioned, the Darkseer could still be a consideration. Against an Oracle, you might, Disruptor for now. Okay, not here we've seen as often, but we still see him probably like a tier 2.5 support. Sometimes seen if you want to play a bit more aggressively. Very good with Spirit Breaker, because of course you're playing with that vision. It guarantees some team fight in that mid game. Definitely a lot of catch in the early game. Goes well with any hero that actually offers the damage, like Wraith King. Again, and make sure that Wraith King can't get kited. So similar role to the Centaur in that sense, except that Disruptor offers the kinetic field, which is very impactful. A bit weak to the BKBs, but can always counter them with the Aghanim's. We have seen this happen sometimes, where people will try to rush that Aghanim's on the Disruptor to some degree, just to get an early Ags on him, cancel the early BKBs as well. Juggernaut. And immediately the pick of the Juggernaut. Yeah, this makes sense. Juggernaut is surprisingly has passed until now. It's probably the most consistent counter to the Disruptor, because you can't get glimpsed, obviously, which is a big thing. He is pretty good against Wraithing as well. Let's not forget he used to run the Manta-style Diffusal Blade build, even if it's not so common nowadays. Can deal with the Skellies nicely with the Maelstrom build as well. Hard to stop with the Spirit Breaker, hard to stop with the Disruptor. Yes, Static Storm really does bother him, but he has options. And the BKB on Juggernaut, it's not the worst of items. Honestly, it's better than the BKB on a Lifestealer. And the immediate counter to the Juggernaut with the Beastmaster now. A lot of single target catch for Anti-MagE, definitely. Perhaps a lack of teamfight, because your teamfight is concentrated solely on Disruptor. You don't have many other AoE spells, but the single target catch makes up for it. The idea for Anti-MagE here seems to be get smoke ganks, try to force a 4 versus 5, and then win because of that, right? And in the early game, you usually want to play without Wraith King until he gets that Midas Radiance, if he does decide to go for that build, which most likely. If he goes for Midas Radiance and you play without him for a while, Beastmaster and Spirit Breaker can get ganks easily. You smoke up and try to get Disruptor some levels as well. Static Storm is a pretty low cooldown spell for an ultimate, which allows you to also use it quite liberally. And that allows Anti-MagE to get some early kills, space for Wraith King, and then start to play with Wraith King once he gets those 2 items. Whereas 682, not such a high power peak early, not so great at getting pickoffs, but definitely a bit more, well, kind of similar kill potential in lane. Maybe a bit more for 682 just because of the presence of the Juggernaut. That Blade Fury is very powerful with a Rubik. And if you get a couple pickoffs early, you try to transition into a stronger mid-game. The peak for 682, it's all around the same time. They all peak around that mid-game. They have a really strong teamfight potential with a Centaur, that area stun being very powerful, the Omni Slash as well, the save from the Oracle, so you have sustainability for the teamfight. You have options for everything. Now my question is, what will they run here? Last pick is for 682, so they should win the mid matchup, ideally. We see the ban of the Lina, so they might be considering something like a co-op. Lina does go well with a single target destruction that they're aiming for. Anti-MagE needs one last pick. That ban of the Kunkka, by the way, I do love. What's that mid pickup for Anti-MagE? You wouldn't mind seeing some teamfight potential. Like something like a Puck would not be crazy, to be honest, or a co-op. Just because they offer you some team fight, some the area damage, which you kind of need. Some wave clear as well. Ooh, that ban the Huskar, though. No Ember in the pool, no Kunkka either. Why do you ban the Huskar? Right, of course, for the TA. That's the third option. The TA. A hero that's been banned quite often, but still pretty powerful. Again, single target, but he brings physical damage, and he's great to roam around with Disrupted Beastmaster Spirit Breaker in the early game, allowing Wraith King to get some farm. Around 14-15 minutes, TA should get her items, 70 minutes being the latest mark, but this means that her peak is around the same time as Wraith King's peak, so this works really nicely as you kind of come into your lineup. Let's see what 682 decides to run against the TA. You still have the option of the Viper, despite not being big fan. You know, hard counters to TA like Viper and Venomancer are in the pool. You can go for something that doesn't care, like a DK.
Timber Saw.
Okay, a Timber Saw. Okay. Right, the Timber Saw. I know it's one of those picks that Wish does like to play. On top of the Tinker, which is probably the known Wish, the known Wish hero. He's interesting. So he has the attribute loss, which is quite strong against TA, because let's not forget that that's takes away a lot. TA is not the best hero in terms of agility gain. I think it was 2.1 pre-patch. I don't know. It's maybe around 2.6 ever since they changed all the attribute gains. And her damage early is alright. You depend a lot on the refraction damage. You take away some of the damage, which is nice, making her depend much more on refraction for last hitting. You are pretty decent against hero with low range, which is well as well. Chakram can destroy TA once you get that level 6, but you need to get the level 6 to actually propose anything. It's doubtful that TA can actually kill you, but she does have the spill damage from side blades to get through those reactive armor stacks. I would give the matchup slightly to Timbersaw, but only because of his level 6 and how that changes then. Alright, the match is about to start. Hopefully. Alright. Making sure that this audio is ready for the
Your name offends me.
next matchup. Go for the in-game. There we go.
That's more like it.
You are sleeping.
And they're starting to get into the respective lanes. Alright. So lane's looking... Well, actually, the kill potential resides in 682, just because of that Juggernaut pick. And I think Timbersaw should not have too hard a time against the TA, especially if he plays around the reactive armor stacks. But AM do have some pretty nice kill potential themselves with a Spirit Breaker. The Wraith King is always a hero you have to fear in the early game. However, compared with the Disruptor, and now we'll see Disruptor being completely annihilated here in the top lane. One more hit will do the trick. There it is. Retaliate from Toby. 4 stacks. This was all he needed. And he gets the kill against DNZ. So that's the first blood going the way of 682. A nice start for them. Definitely what they were looking for. Those early game kills without committing too much. And a very good rotation here. Forcing the tri-lane up top. So you try not to get the tri-lane versus tri-lane here. Because Disruptor, I would say, is a pretty decent tri-lane hero.
Hello.
Oh, there it is. Hey Gareth, how you doing, man?
Okay. I think I've sorted everything out now. My apologies, guys. Sounds clear now?
It sounds perfect, man. I love the crisp.
Right, I've literally had to turn a PC off because apparently one of the PCs being on is messing with the cables. Whatever. It works now, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
All right.
Whew.
Yeah. Whew.
How
So
long did
happy
that
to
take?
be-
A solid 10 minutes? God,
Hey, man.
kill me.
We got through the draft though, so you know it's all good. It's all
I missed
good. Man.
First Blood. That's a classic. You know, Gary B misses First Blood.
I got it with
you
a
were
candle.
streaming and observing.
Are you remarking that for when I missed the other first bloods? People know who to blame.
Yes. I'm not observing, guys. Making it very clear. No, I'm just saying that I most certainly would have missed it. Some trash.
Oh, what a nice comment. What are you thinking of these drafts, man? We didn't get your input, so
Oh.
I'll give you a second if you want to look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a second just to look at them. Anti-MagE as the last pick. 6 heroes on Team Anti-MagE is always super sick. I like their tempo. Wraith King, Beastmaster, Templar Assassin all have very similar timings.
Yep.
You're looking for, Deso Blink TA, Wraith King with that Midas into Radiance, Beastmaster with a Vlad's Necro Medallion, and all of a sudden you become this unstoppable bulldozer, taking tier 1s, taking Roshan, heavy objective hitters. But on the Radiant side, they've got this kind of, in and out laning phase domination strat where Timbersaw, Centaur, Juggernaut, all very self-sustaining cores, and Rubik and Oracle can keep them in the lanes for the most part. So I do like the build-up here from 682, as well as the fact that, Timbersaw in this mid lane should have a reasonably good laning stage against Mage. Oh, his general dies down bottom.
Up top, they're also trying to go for a... I had to guess, man, between top and bottom. I always get the wrong guess here.
Oh, I was watching top as well. I was watching them, battle it out.
Yeah, I thought there was going
Chasing
to be a
people
fight
around.
there. It's interesting because the analysis you made was very similar to what I was commenting on. So, great minds think alike, I guess. Or 2K shitters think alike, whatever you want to call it. And
Well, what's the rest? The rest of the phrase is "fools rarely differ," I believe.
oh, really? God, I didn't know that part of the phrase. That's
That's
news
the
for
thing.
me.
Most people know that there's a bunch of them. Like Jack of all trades, master of none is better than a master of one. The actual phrase is that it's better to be a jack of all trades who's good at lots of little things than be perfect at one thing. Blood is thicker than water. That's another one that gets misquoted. There's a bunch of idioms and phrases that we just warp to our own desires.
Damn. That ball is thicker than water, though. I read that was a myth. The fact that it is thicker than the blood of the womb or something like that.
Yeah, the
blood of the covenant is thicker.
The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's an internet meme, though. I don't actually think that's true.
Oh, down bottom. They're fine.
Yeah. Ooh. Scary, scary. We will see. So we'll talk about the lanes now a bit more. We talked about the draft and the strong early game presence. We are seeing the strength of the Dswordfish already, right? I would say that, yeah, the lanes are pretty strong for the 682, but you do have a Spurtbreaker Beastmaster down bottom. 2 beefy dudes. Very difficult to contest them in lane as well. And they're playing aggressively against the Juggernaut. Like, they know they can. Even if you played Furies away, you're not too concerned about this, right? You don't even need to get the access at all here to harass him. You can just auto-attack him to death.
Yeah, Juggernaut, he's farming. Doing decently well. It's just not comfortable. That's the main thing. He's not going to have that comfort factor coming out of the laning stage that someone such as Wish might have. 16-2 against the 11-4 of the TA. Wish having a spectacular time in that mid lane. So I think right now, the Oracle's going to drop. They get General first, but Syndra there to trade. 1-for-1 down there. General dying a second time in a row, though. Definitely problematic for this dire side.
Yeah, for sure. As they do lose General because he's playing aggressively trying to harass the Juggernaut out of the lane, but if you don't get the kill on Juggernaut before you yourself die, you're giving him free experience and free gold is not that useful, and you are also forcing Syndra to kind of stay in this lane completely, as opposed to being able to gank other lanes, which is, you know, part of the great thing about Spurtbreaker. And right now in the top lane, we're also seeing a support duel, which is, I mean, it's working out for DNZ for now. He's going for the build we're seeing often on the Disruptor, maxing the Thunderstrike. Before, you know, like years ago, you would have said this is blasphemy, but now, you know, just for the laning presence it gives you.
Oh. Wraith King up top.
Jesus,
just about watched that one.
Yeah.
Toby. The help of this Rubik. This is the thing, right? The Radiant team, like we were saying at the end of that draft, laning stage looks very good for them. Wish is shoving Mage out of lane. What's the CS like? 5 CS difference, still pretty good for Timber. And now he's cracked level 5. The 3 points in that reactive armor allow him to shove into tower quite nicely.
And Toby in the top lane now being harassed yet again. Thunderstrike still hitting him. One last strike by Thunderstrike. Can't use the salve while he does that. Syndra gets the bash. Naive looking for that last Wraithfire Blast. The salve though. Wraithfire Blast. Syndra will dive this tower. You go, Synd. You go, buddy. No! Synd is left alone. His teammates left him there to tank the tower, and they can't get that kill. Thanks to really nice salving there by Toby. In the bottom lane, we're seeing an aggression as well, trying to block the shrine entrance. Toby can get to the shrine in time. Well played there, DNZ. And the rotation here from the Rubik, trying to at least get the kill onto DNZ. Counter kill here with another TP as well to the shrine. Syndra trying to get those bashes. DNZ will not be saved, unfortunately. And now it's Syndra alone. He still has the charge, though. They root him up, and they immediately destroy him with the Purifying Flames. However,
does that heal him enough?
They didn't dispel it in time. Oh, just like 1 microsecond off from getting that combo properly.
So in the meantime, Juggernaut spins down the Beastmaster. General did bring down the Antoha Oracle, which allowed that TP up towards top. But Juggernaut having such a beautiful game, 2-0-1 over on ZipZap so far, and that lack of comfort that happened in the first 2-3 minutes from the Beastmaster Spiritbreaker, it's completely dissipated. Suddenly he's, you know, kill, he's got phase boots, not really too bothered about anything coming his way anymore. So 682 setting themselves up for greatness in their 2 primary lanes, bot lane and mid lane. Juggernaut and Timbersaw both doing spectacularly, and if they can use that as a launch pad to get into that mid game, stop the TA from farming jungle, stop the Wraith King from hitting their his timing, then you're in good stead to take this game. Yeah,
that's exactly what the plan was, you know, from the start. Try to get that early game presence to make sure they can't hit their time like you mentioned, and if they do that, they should be able to just delay the timing enough until they become relevant, right? Because they have much more of a transitional draft here with the Juggernaut. The issue here I see in terms of timings is that Juggernaut's weak point, which is when he's trying to buy that secondary third item, when he starts to transition into a real physical damage carry, is exactly when Anti-MagE gets their strongest point. So if you can delay that so that Juggernaut has a bit more farm, then you make up for that fact, and you should still be able to fight. Alternatively, of course, Timbersaw can just smother them to death with his laning presence, which is another factor that you can always take into account. Wish really comfortable on this hero, so.
For sure. I think that's probably the biggest challenge facing Team Anti-MagE right now is that Timbersaw. Juggernaut, like you mentioned, they can deal with him as the Oracle gets picked off back in the dire jungle. Mage and Syndra pairing up to find that kill. But I really do believe that if this 682 lineup can come out of that laning stage, you know, in the same process as they're doing now, and actually go into the enemy jungle, get some early tier 1s, get some deep wards down. You stop this TA farming Ancient, stop her farming stacks, jungle camps, and all of a sudden she's not a hero anymore. She requires that time and space to come back into the game. Tries to battle away with Wish.
There's an attack on Spirit. I think they might just kill him. Kinetic Field, not going to give enough space. They're going to kill him off DNZ. But the Retaliate's still hurting DNZ. And Toby has to go back to base. There's the Glimpse, sends him back. Synderen still hitting him with Fire Blast plus Glimpse, hanging out the best combination. Toby fighting to the death, gets a stomp off, wants to kill Naive in the process. But Retaliate, that last hit from Retaliate ensures he does get the kill on the enemy carry. Definitely worth in the end, honestly. Yes, you lose him, but killing the Wraith King is super value.
Yeah. But you feel like you're going to lose 2 heroes for nothing there. Getting 1 in exchange is worth it. And it being the Wraith King is spectacular for you. TNC and Synderen, they did everything perfectly right. Naive desperately wanted that kill, just not quite enough to burst the Centaur down in time. You have to start looking towards these other lanes because the Oracle has rotated to back up this Timbersaw mid, maybe for a kill attempt on TA. But Mage knows where he belongs. You know, this Templar Assassin kind of needs to go and the jungle for a bit. Farm through a couple of creep camps, come back to lane every once in a while to push out wave.
Yeah.
Beastmaster of General might actually be the one in trouble.
Ooh, in the bottom lane, that Blade Fury is destroying him. They're getting the charged route, and yeah, he just runs around him, zip zap, wants to get the kill, but General, close to running away. The Primal Roar, not good enough. Here comes Synderen to try to avenge his dead teammate.
Yes, Omni
Fate
Slash.
Edict, well played. Omni Slash just needs a bit more mana.
His healing ward is just owning.
Yeah, that healing ward is saving his life. Now taking DNZ, perhaps. Blade Fury stops that Glimpse. Now the Stampede. Kill the Hawk in the process. Destroy the healing ward, sure, but DNZ dies for that. Synderen needs to charge himself away to safety. Well played there, though. It seems like these lanes are working out for 682.
Man, Team Anti-MagE are getting outplayed. They're getting absolutely done in on every single lane. Mage mid, still trying to battle with Wish, but just look at how tanky this Timber is. Dealing with Meld and Blightstone, and he still has 30 armor. It's pretty insane. Oh, Wish. Not a care in the world. So Mage is going to dip back, shrine up with Synderen, farm through the triangle, most likely try and get some stacks going for himself. General having a pretty rough game. 1-4-1 on that Beastmaster down bottom. Again, this Anti-MagE lineup really does kind of come to fruition a little bit later on. Early deaths don't matter as much. It may feel like General's feeding maybe unsubstantiated in this bottom lane, but he is decently pressuring the Juggernaut. He's keeping that lane away from his tier 1, making sure there's no shove in from the Radiant team towards the dire half of the map. And they bring the Wraith King down bottom. They're going to pivot themselves, potentially an attempt on the Juggernaut's life. It's such a difficult kill to get, though. Even with Primal Roar ready, they'll just focus on the Oracle. Easy pickings, take him down. Zip zap.
Zip zap the next. Yeah, with a Blade Fury, Primal Roar, they stop him. Thunder Strike, Synderen still trying to chase him away. There's the Omni Slash to get him some space, and he actually gets quite lucky. Goes to the Skeletons. They're so confused. Where did he go? Now going for Toby instead. Easier target. Healing Ward will not heal him this time. They destroyed immediately. Toby will go down despite his stomp and zip zap. Low on mana, has no TP anyway. Can they stop him? He has the Blade Fury for 3 more seconds. The stun is ready. Wraithfire Blast to the face. Zip Zap gets charged down as well. Here's the reinforcements from the Oracle, but that's going to be enough apparently with just a Fate Seed. They stop all the magical damage, and now they might even kill Synderen in the process. No more mana for the Blade Fury, no need. They just get him with the auto attacks. Goodbye, Synderen.
And super awkward there. You could see Team Anti-MagE's plan. You know, they bring Wraith King down, they hide him away in the fog, they look for that play, and they make it pretty snappily. Really nice, simple execution from Team Anti-MagE. They got a little bit aggressive, you know, chasing that Juggernaut, desperately wanting the kill, but he had 7-1 charges up his sleeve after the fact and was able to spin away from the kinetic field. Interesting, though, that, you know, they... Ooh, Stampede mid. They're catching DNZ, and that is an easy blow up onto the Disruptor. Timber and Rubik making short work of DNZ, and now into the tier 1.
Yeah, taking the objective as well is important for these kind of lineups, right? Transitioning to objectives down bottom, though. They find the Juggernaut. Do they have Primal Roar in 5 seconds? Yeah, I think Zip Zap is probably dead here. Try TPing. Is Primal Roar going to come in time? No need. Nether Strike to finish him off. So they're going to lose Zip Zap in exchange for a tower. Not the best trait there.
Yeah, not ideal. I'm not sure why Zip Zap's bottom. They lost their tier 1. They know that Anti-MagE is going to be likely playing around there as the top shrine. And there's Mage on the TA. Trying to go to work, but the Rubik, Timbersaw arriving now. The Roar is out, and down goes Rubik. Quickly fade bolts into that Templar Assassin first, though. The trouble is, Wish is unkillable. Just waltzing around in this battle, not really bothered about anybody. They blow up another one. Beastmaster's gone. Oracle saves himself. The last second false promise. Naive will chase him forward with a Wraithfire Blast in 4 seconds time. Should very likely get this kill. Synderen, though, might not be. So the heal. That's quite a lot of heal. Synderen does have the charge. In they go onto Oracle and finally bring him to his knees. As the glimpse from DNZ, Timbersaw just chains on forward.
Well played. Still. What we saw there was just Timbersaw without mana going around. Guys, notice me, please. Just do something to me. And they just ignored him completely, killed all his teammates instead. I think Anti-MagE played that properly. This is how we should see people play against the Timbersaw, right? Remember that first game we cast him where the Timbersaw just dominated? It was partially because they tried to kill him in the early game, right? Just ignore him. Get the teammates around him. Try to get these team fights in your favor, even if you're only killing supports, right? If he's not farming because he's trying to get an impact in these team fights, is unable to, you know, do anything, you're fine. Not too concerned. Yeah. Don't stress out about it.
Who did we see yesterday play against the Timbersaw? It was Rajik's Timbersaw. I can't remember who they played against, but anyway, the team they played against did very well dodging the Timber in the early game, trying to hit their own timings, because you cannot fight into this hero. You know, you potentially need a Spirit Vessel, or you need some kind of big burst damage, but most importantly, you need team cohesion. You need to be able to focus him down, cast all your spells on him. He's the big raid boss that eventually you do need to break. Exactly how Anti-MagE plan to do that. They've got Vlad's Medallion on the Beastmaster, so General, even with the rough laning stage, has managed to crack open his net worth and get to the top of the board, would you believe it? 5.6k net worth on General as he just continually shoves out that bottom lane.
Yeah.
Juggernaut just overtakes him, as I'm saying it, of course. Turns me into a liar. Zip-zap. Very nearly done with the Diffusal Blade. So this Juggernaut is about to hit his stride. Gonna come down this early push forward of aggression from 682. This Timbersaw with double bracer, that's a definite signal for that, right? Double bracer into Yules. He's not going into that Bloodstone early. He's not going into the Hood or the Pipe or anything. He's not against any magic damage. So he's just tanking up as much as he can. Get a bit of status resistance and run forward. Magic resistance, sorry, not status.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the current builds we're seeing nowadays. Give you that tank ability, so you can just, as mentioned, run forward. If they do try to engage against you, it's okay. You don't much mind for the damage. The goal here for 682, I would say right now, is to just try to force these 5-on-5 near objectives. They should be able to win. Their team fight is quite strong, and we are seeing a smoke already. So exactly as I mentioned, Crimson Guard ready and Toby as well. And you give Wish some time to farm as well. This Yule Scepter, I think he's waiting for that item first, before he tries to engage. I just realized, by the way, Bracer is 6% magic resistance. That's actually quite a lot. Seems like I obviously I understand that it makes you quite tanky, but 6% is considerable for just a 525 gold item.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you think about Huskar builds. People replaced his passive mage, TA. They're catching her as she farms ancient stacks. They're going to bring the Wraith King in to try and stop this, but the Templar Assassin already dead.
Synderen will find the Rubik here. No, actually, I think they're going to find Synderen instead. They're waiting for his Bulldoze to pass. But that's the reason why people are getting more points into Bulldoze nowadays. It's a very, very good ability here when you want to engage in this kind of crazy way.
Yeah, it's the reason why I said status resistance instead of magic resistance earlier on. I was looking at the Spirit Breaker, having 70% status resistance with level 4 Bulldoze is pretty insane. 8-second duration as well. So that's the kind of move I was talking about from this Radiant team, right? They go into the jungle, they try and hunt, they get some deep wards down, they find the TA, they kill her off. Spirit Breaker making a move onto Toby. General is coming in from the left-hand side with DNZ. What they can do.
Let's see. I mean, the Primal Roar catches the Rubik for now, the charge. Make sure to kill the Rubik first. Okay, but Toby gets saved by the false promise, at least for now. Wish joins the fray with not much mana, though. Wants to get some more mana for everyone. They do manage to kill General. Toby back to full HP. And they can't continue fighting this. Anti-MagE realizes this. Mage could be in trouble. He has a Desolator, but you have a Chakram to get rid of all those refraction charges anyway. They find Synderen instead. Slow him down with the Diffusal Blade. Get another quick kill. That's 2 in the books for 682 as they only lose a support in the process. They don't care about the Disruptor. They're only going for one hero, and that is Mage.
The TA?
He has no Blink Dagger just yet, but Mage just outruns the Centaur. 2 legs are better than 4.
Fine. In the meantime, Wraith King shoving that top tier 1 with a catapult wave. See if Wish can get this deny. Nicely done. Takes it away from the Carti. So, that hand of Midas pushing very quickly towards the Blink Dagger. So he's going for that early aggressive build, but skipping Armlet. We most often see, and they're making a play. They see the Timbers TP top, and now they bait out the poor little Centaur trapped inside the Static Storm. No chance for Oracle to save him there with no false promise available. The chase is now on. Team Anti-MagE, they are thirsty, hungry, looking for more. Diffusal Blade from the Jug, spinning in onto that little old Wraith King, naive, out of mana, but has 12-1 charges. If he wants to pop it, he can get his ult going.
Oh, he doesn't pop it.
Slashed into the ground. Now Cinderon's going to take the brunt of it. Juggernaut, incredibly powerful with another Diffusal Blade ready to go. He can slow down this aggression from the Dire team, but he can't be saved. He's not near enough to Shrine. Oracle and Rubik unable to keep him alive, and now Mage, it's his turn. The TA is on the battlefield ready to play.
There's the Stampede called here by the Centaur. They destroy the Disruptor quickly. Pulled by DNZ, now fighting against Wish, and thanks to the Primal Roar and great axes by General, they annihilate both of the enemy heroes here and clean it up for Anti-MagE. They afterwards, you know, you do lose Wish. Oh, sorry, you do lose Naive in the process. Not the greatest for Anti-MagE, but I think the exchange there ended up being quite favorable for them. Thanks to General, especially.
Yeah, I mean, keeping your TA alive is of utmost importance there. And it might even be a good thing that Wraith King didn't die with ulti. Him not popping Wand, I feel like, was a conscious decision. He wants to wait for level 2 reincarnation. He felt he was dead there anyway and wouldn't really be able to offer too much in the ensuing fight. Kind of like that from Naive, if that was a conscious decision to hold ulti for level 12. See exactly what he does. Blink Dagger is very nearly ready up on him. But did you see how quickly Timbersaw died, by the way?
Yeah.
A Primal Roar and like 3 heroes hitting him with Desolator and the level 4 Inner Beast. He gets crushed.
Yeah, I mean, they had the Medallion, they had the Wild Axes debuff on him as well, which was quite important.
Yeah.
And, you know, that adds damage. In general, hits hard right now. That's one of the beauties of the Beastmaster. We did talk about his peak being around minute 17, minute 18, which is the same time around Desolator. And, oh, actually, no Blink Dagger, Dragonlance from Mage. Okay, interesting. And Wraith King actually not even going for the Radiance build either. So, the whole peak talk we talked about, gets a bit warped, I guess. But it still stands true. The Beastmaster now has Solar Crest, he's ready to fight. The Dragonlance Desolator for the TA, I guess we can call her the core items right now. And a Wraith King that now has the Blink Dagger ready to engage in a much more utilitarian manner. Take the tier 1 quickly. Now it's their turn to force some team fights out.
Yeah, and Wraith King with a Blink feels much nicer. It's always interesting to start really kind of thinking why players are picking up certain items. With Blink TA, there's no one really you can jump on and immediately blow up, but you could potentially have a Blink here to help the Wraith King and take down the Oracle. Roshan grabbed by Mage. Timbersaw's in trying to deal with General, but the Beastmaster roars him up down to half HP. He's being shredded. The Stag Storm's there as well, and Wish is not gone. He's used himself up. Finally buys some time. The False Promise there from Antora as well. Keeps him alive, and he turns to fight. Toby dealing with the TA, but the TA's taking down the Rubik. General still lurking in the shadows on his right-hand side. They want to move in, but the healing ward's there, and Mage left alone. Naive finally arriving with that Blink forward, looking for the Oracle in the back. The traps will slow down the advance, and Wish is thirsty for kills. DNZ and General back to the Shrine, but it's on cooldown. They can't pop it, so they'll focus the Oracle. The easy pick off as TA Mage survives barely with his life, and Cinderon charges to stop any more maneuvers from Wish's Timber.
Wow, now it's time for AM to come in with a counter hit, right? There's the glimpse, bring back Toby. Okay, Wraith Fire Blast, stop him in his tracks. Mage still fighting this. He has the Aegis, doesn't care about dying. Toby in trouble. Wish stunned again. Toby's gonna die first here with a Thunder Strike, and while Wish is against the world. He's trying to get that Chakram onto DNZ, but DNZ is just wagging his tail, being the bait that everyone needs here. They managed to glimpse him back. DNZ is the bane of Wish's existence right now. They finally charge him as well. They catch the poor Oracle in the process. Wish alone again. But this man is just tanking all the damage. Finally get the kill on DNZ thanks to Zip Zap. Come from behind and finishing him off. There's another Yule Scepter here to catch Cinderon as well. Cinderon gets decimated, and Wish tearing now the enemy team to shreds. He's losing his mana but has double damage, so he's just auto-attacking Mage. And they do want to get this kill, but do you want to go that much forward? Diffusal Blade used onto Mage, which considering it, he has the Timber Chain, gets stunned out before he can chain himself to a tree. Still tries. Maybe going for the Wraith King. Nah. Naive goes to the high ground. He should be fine. This team fight should be over.
Oh, that fight lasted a solid like 4 minutes around that Roshan pit. Mage does get the Aegis of the Immortal. Really nice back and forth there from Team Anti-MagE as they played that on an absolute knife's edge. You know, 3-4 heroes sitting on like 100, 150 HP, dancing back and forth. Mage holding onto Aegis until the very last breath. DNZ, that disruptor, getting additional cycles of abilities out just because of his positioning and kiting around this Timber, Centaur, and Juggernaut. It was spectacular to watch. And then you have the second wave of 682 come back in. You know, the respawn of the Oracle, the Rubik arrives again. They've got that nice kind of push forward. They're able to battle back, get a couple of kills, but it just feel like enough at this point with Aegis TA still in hand. Wraith King with that blink and a decent amount of money saved up in the bank. He is moving very quickly into that armlet. Even with a buyback expended, keeping his gold income flowing.
Yeah, I don't know if the choice here now to go for the Dragonlance on Mage as opposed to going for perhaps a more traditional Blink Dagger build, it's going to harm him in the future. I get that the reason why you're not maybe going Blink is they have a lot of ways to cancel it, partially, and the other way is because they have a lot of mobility anyway, so your Blink might just get... There's no reason for it. But the not being able to blow up the Oracle in the back lane so easily, instead blinking in with the Wraith King. Sure, Wraith King can do it, but only if you get a lucky crit. Otherwise, Oracle will survive enough to Fate's Edict you and run away. Yeah,
I think the chances are, like, if... So the Wraith King has Blink, but that Blink, it feels like it's more of a sort of a chaos creator or a counter initiator than an actual straight up jump on someone and blow them up. It can be used that way, of course. But I think normally, even if the Spirit Breaker, Wraith King, and TA all blink onto the Oracle, there's a Stampede, there's a Rubik Lift, there's a Yules, there's a Chakram, there's False Promise, of course, from the Oracle as well. There's so many ways to save people from that initial jump and initiation burst that TA feels like, Dragonlance here to give that additional range so she can potentially keep chasing into the Timbersaw, into Centaur, and keep that chase going, maybe with a Hurricane Pike later down the line, as well as tanking her up against Timber, Jug, Centaur, who all have a significant amount of damage. I think it's it's definitely a debate to be had. For me, it's like a coin flip in this game as they catch the Centaur in a Static Storm. Charges there. He's up on the high ground, but he's still in the Kinetic Field. Quick Stampede away, but in comes the False Promise. Keeps him alive. The Roar in the back. Onto the Rubik. General wants in, but Toby wants him out. That's the blow up of the Beastmaster now as the Toby Centaur's full HP again. DNZ in a spot of bother as he's chained upon and blown up by the Chakram. And Naive, he can't even finish off the Oracle. His Rage Fire blasted him, but he'll finally get the crit as the reincarnation of the TA. Not going to work out for her. Spun into oblivion.
Oh, what? They're out of area damage?
She's dead.
Nah, she tried her best, though. Other melt? Come on. Where's the area damage? There we go. Last Timber Chain there by Wish gets the kill. Another successful victory there for 682. What a false promise, right? That Oracle is winning the game right now for them. Like, he's died, sure. And as you noticed, as you mentioned in the cast there, because I had to look at the TA, but they chase after the Oracle. They kill him. Naive does a good job with that, but they take too long. And Oracle already used his spells. He already had his impact in that team fight. Everyone was alive. Toy was back to full HP. What are you even meant to do against that? You can't. You have to blow the Oracle up. You can't play while the Oracle's still alive, because then they'll keep doing this every single time. His positioning has been absolutely wonderful this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Oracle is disarming your Wraith King, disarming your TA, healing up the Centaur, the Timbersaw, keeping Juggernaut alive, and then Rubik's doing a very similar thing as they try and battle top bounty runes. Oracle may not be so lucky this time. False Promise onto his buddy, keep the Juggernaut going. Timbersaw fighting through it all.
Yeah, but Timbersaw now starting to get blown up. Look at Wish, even with the reactive armor stacks, he can't survive this. Now they go for the Disrupt to try to kill off DNZ. Static Storm gets dropped before he dies, and they actually enclose poor Toby inside of it. It's time now to pummel him to death as AM take two quick kills, going for a third one. It's poor Rubik. He has a Wraithfire Blast. What can he do against three? That's the Wraithfire Blast to the face. Naive needed to complete this kill.
This is some insanity. This game is just back and forth, kill after team fight after team fight. Honestly, there just doesn't feel like there's anything in it between these two squads. They're both just going head to head like, two rams banging heads against each other over and over again for no apparent reason. Right now, Team Anti-MagE looking for that map control, pushing in towards tier 2 top. No great ward coverage from either side, though. Like, both teams have one ward out 26 minutes in, and they're opposite side of the maps to each other. Roshan still, you know, a significant amount of time until he can spawn. At least 1 minute for the fast spawn. Team Anti-MagE looks like they're just going to give up on that concerted effort top. Go back, reset, look to farm, and consider your next team fight.
Yeah, maybe go for a smoke gank if you could, if you find someone out of position. We're starting to notice that 682 are just teaming up and trying to go for the 5-on-5 engagements, if anything, right? They're not going to separate any longer to maximize the farm. Maybe the Juggernaut who can be a bit more aggressive, but this could be a mistake for Zipzap. The potential Anti-MagE has to gank all the map with the Hawk and the Spirit Breaker is a threatening one. I think Toby just saw General. I'm not sure, actually. So General has found a really nice hiding spot here in the trees. And the Hawk gives him vision to know when to come out. The boars as well. Using the boars for vision. And this is interesting. I wonder if this is supposed to be a kill or a gank, sorry. They might find Zipzap. They have Primal Roar here. Zipzap is fighting against the boars. There's the charge. And they go. Primal Roar. Zipzap. He's getting decimated by this full crest. Even the Static Storm. They catch him. That's the kill they were looking for. Toby nearby gets a double stomp. General now down. Mage also pushes Wish. Or sorry. It's DNZ who pushes Wish back with a glimpse. And they just get away. They lost General, but for a carry. And meanwhile, Naive was pushing down that bottom lane with the Skellies. Yeah. Works out nicely for Anti-MagE.
Exactly. They get that set up, and you mentioned it perfectly, you know, using the boars, using the Hawk, they scout deep. A bit of a D-Ward battle going on now for the Oracle as he does remove an Obs and a Sentry from that area, feeling the vision from Anti-MagE in the spot was just a little bit too much for his liking. But a very nice pick-off. You know, they wait for the right target as well. They see the Oracle back up, they see the Juggernaut move to their grasp. Take it when they get it. Nice setup by Anti-MagE. And Naive, yeah, you mentioned gets the bottom tier 2 for free. TP's out, doesn't really, so gets out, doesn't really get picked off or anything like that. Back to farming he goes, and now he's up to Armlet Maelstrom. This guy is starting to scale on the Wraith King.
Yeah, the Wraith King, despite not going for a Radiance build here, it seems like he has been working out for the Wraith King in terms of farm. 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, 5 minutes ago he had 8k net worth, and now he's nearly 13k. He was like 2,000 behind his opponents, 3,000 behind his opponents. Now he's dead even with the Timbersaw pretty much, just behind the Juggernaut. So it has been an exceptional catch-up by Naive in this spot. Oh, look at DNZ. He's smoke hunting. Looking to pop smokes. Not going to catch this one. 682. They repurpose themselves. Think about swinging down bot, playing into the Juggernaut's lane, but Juggernaut will come and join them instead. As Roshan is alive, and both teams know it thanks to the TA traps and the Rubik traps. Pink and green. Beautiful. They start this. That's risky. Interesting they haven't put a sentry down in the pit.
Yeah. I don't think they can go for this right now, to be honest with you. They have the Stampede to disengage, but Anti-MagE, like, they have a Static Storm. You're fighting against Static Storm getting field in that pit. And the traps are obviously... This steal by the Rubik, by the way, is magnificent. It was giving them the vision that Anti-MagE has in a plethora of... Okay, they're going in again.
They finally... they finally sentried the pit, right? So they get rid of the couple of traps that TA's put in there.
They can kill the Hawk as well, or I don't know if they see it actually from this angle. It's a bit awkward because it's on that.
It's Hawkwood.
It's Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying though, right? Like I don't think you can actually see it from the low ground there. Because they're not seeing it. That's a really good positioning there for the Hawk.
Definitely in one of those kind of fogged cliff spots around the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no commitment from either side towards Roshan. And this is advantage Anti-MagE. They've been farming this entire time. They haven't really pushed anyone towards it, and now they're smoking up. They've got vision over the pit. General's ready with that blink and solar crest. Mage is there with a BKB. Second duration. They blink in. They're looking to take this. It's being pinged out right now by the Radiant team. They know it's happening.
Okay, Toby goes in. Nice 3-man stomp. DNZ still has Static Storm though to prevent this. Toby, he just conjuring him one single hero. It's the Wraith King for now, but he has the reincarnation behind Cinder and stops the Rubik from going in. Rubik stole the Static Storm, but he doesn't catch too many people in it. Only the two supports. The BKB used by Mage. Now finally the Omni Slash. That Omni Slash is tearing through them. Kills the two supports quickly. Nice job there, Zip-Zap. But the Mage does the same thing, and now he's stuck in the kinetic field. Who took the Aegis? It's snatched by Naive there, even though Wish took the Roshan in the end. And from behind, the team fight still brewing. Mage out being chased after with a Juggernaut Blade Fury. They just need to get the last hit in, but the kinetic field saves them. With Fire Blast as well. And Zip Zap is just stuck in this endless slew of stuns. They finally get him.
Trouble.
Oracle and Glimmer Cape.
Reveal?
No sentries. No sentries. Doesn't matter though. They took the Aegis there. I think Anti-MagE is really happy with this engagement, killing the Juggernaut as well, even if he does get the kill on the supports there.
Man, even with a sick Primal Roar from Rubik, which cancels Synderen's charge, 3 heroes in the pit with Aegis on the floor for like 2.5, 3 seconds, no one picking it up because they're all clamoring around and grasping at the floor. My goodness, Naive gonna count his lucky stars. He got his hands on that one. It could have quite easily gone into the pockets of the Timbersaw in that situation, or even the Centaur. Both of them viable carriers for this Radiant team. But very nicely done by Team Anti-MagE, like you're saying. They keep that TA in the fight. They make sure she's kept alive. The Static Storm steal from Rubik. He had a number of great steals there. Clipped out the Disruptor, who had already got his Static Storm down, but couldn't get the Kinetic Field combo because of it. But it does come down the chaos that Synderen brings to this one. The secondary life of that Wraith King potentially could have been their undoing as well. But nicely left alone. Both teams have this one target that they have to kind of not focus, right?
Yep.
Radiant ignores Wraith King, Dire ignores Timbersaw. Everybody else, you know, tooth and nail, scratching, biting, fighting as hard as they can. Starting to feel like 682 running out a little bit out of steam. Their 2 supports, very good on the defensive, very good performance from Rubik so far on the steals, but it doesn't feel like it's had as much impact as the Spirit Breaker and the Disruptor have had in terms of displacing opponents, getting that +1 bonus kill, or just trapping the Juggernaut after a spin.
Yeah, that kinetic field at the end as well. I mean, yeah, they pushed them out with the Greater Passion at the end, but it doesn't matter because you trapped them in long enough so that the TA could make it out alive. And Anti-MagE has been doing a pretty good job, not only of these kind of like last second spells, which we've seen a couple of times, but also their positioning I think has been wonderful. I mean, that Static Storm failed, the one stolen by the Rubik, basically because DNZ and Synderen decided to, like, you know, open up, right? And they were there alone. Like, if you Static Storm them, then you're not Static Storming the carries. The team fights are so divided that even if I zoom out completely, I can't catch the whole team fight. Because AM knows that's what benefits them. The team fight here for 682 is I mean, I guess traditional, standard, is consistent. You want the 3 to 4 man Hope Stomp, ideally, you know, it's an area stud. And you have the Omni Slash, which ideally is when a couple people are bunched together so you can kill one and then bounce to the other. Timbersaw is only area damage, and Anti-MagE is not letting this happen. They're just constantly just going, scattering in the wind, trying to get pickoffs, you know, in the backlines of the team fight, forcing the kill on the Oracle. They're playing this well. They know how to beat this. A lot of high ground smoke. Okay, now he just walks in. He has Aegis and Reincarnation. He doesn't not care about his life right now. They ignore with the Dying Telekinesis, but there comes the Static Storm, and inside the Static Storm is this Oracle dead. Even if the Omni Slash comes out, what is it really killing there? Just Synderen. Synderen tanks the Omni Slash and gets away regardless. And now it seems like it's Toby who's in trouble because AM... No, it's gonna even first dying Mage, now Toby as well. As Zip Zap walks out, there's the first Reincarnation. He actually blinks away. They're afraid of Wish, despite them killing the Centaur and losing the Omni Slash. Naive walks in finally, but that's a bit late. They just killed your support, and now they have Heaven's Halberd to stop this Wraith King. No Primal Roar ready. Here comes Synderen with the last second charge. With the Aegis finally popped, Wraith King can come back into this fight again. 18 seconds till next Reincarnation. Blinks in time. But Anti-MagE, a bit... This time it was too scattered, I think. Like, they were not coordinated as a team. They let Mage to die at first, and he fought at the end.
I don't know. It felt like that was a little bit too close quarters for them. Like, the entirety of the fight happened between the 2 staircases, right? They get the catch onto the Oracle. They manage to bring him down nice, but he buys back immediately, so that's not really a hero that you've actually taken out of the game. They get the glimpse on the Rubik back into the river as well, so they get the +1. Which was nice. They had that kind of, you know, synchronization. One kill after the other, the 2 key heroes that they can pick off, the 2 supports. And then they realize very quickly that they've spent the majority of their ultimates. They don't have anything left to give for the Timbersaw, for the Juggernaut, the Centaur. So these guys are just standing their ground, you know, in the middle of the fight, on this high ground. You know, the majority of the fight just happens in this box. There isn't much spread. There isn't much kind of dragging around or kiting, which it feels like the Dire team need to do a little more against the Timber and the Jug especially. In the end, that TA dying very early on in the fight
I was
with that BKB. Yeah, it really was surprising.
Because she fought till the end there, right? Like she was just like hitting him and not moving. There's no help from his teammates at all. Granted, you lost Cinder, no, but I think that well, yeah, there's no way you're healing that up. No way you're healing that up. Goodbye. So,
That's hyper giga mega dead.
yep, exactly, yep. What I was mentioning though is that when you see a TA fighting there, I guess he lost Sind, and Synderen until now has been actually pretty key in these team fights. He was the one that created the chaos, and since he tanked the armor sets, that was fantastic, but of course he was out of mana because of the Fusel Blade, and that put him in a difficult position where if he reinitiates, he has one more charge and he dies, of course, because he was low HP as well. And if he doesn't reinitiate, then you kind of leave your TA alone there to die. Despite the PKB, she just could not outmatch the damage that 682 was putting out. And she also fought a centaur with retaliate stacks head on. Don't do that. Like, that's how you die.
They considering
Does he think
going
he's
high
punch
ground
mode?
here. Yeah, he's just hooking. Timber chain equals hook.
Oh no, that is gonna be a dead juggernaut. A stump comes out with nice BKB there by Mage, hitting from the stump damage, going for the Rubik first. Naive though might lose his reincarnation quickly. However, that's an initiation tactic. They get Toby's perma-stun now, and all they need is one last hit. Toby's done. Wish is here fighting to the death, and reactive armor stacks are saving him from immediate death. A glimpse to Toby. They haven't sabred the TA. She can't keep on fighting. Mage doesn't have the BKB. Synderen comes in. More team fight with the Static Storm set up. Now finally done. Can they still kill Wish? They're trying with a meld and the Desolator damage. In comes the Omnis as we were looking for. It just bounces around, deals a fair amount of damage to the backlines, but does not target Mage this time. Heaven's Halberd pushing Mage away as Synderen stays here. He knows he needs to tank this damage, create the chaos so his team can leave, and he has done it. What initiations by the supports, man. Anti-MagE supports are winning in the game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got the the vision from Thunderstrike, from Charge. They've got the displacement from Glimpse, and they've got that hard commitment from Cinder and Spirit Breaker with that charge into Nether Strike. It's really beautiful to see. I've got to say though, Juggernaut holding buyback there for 6 seconds to wait for the Centaur to have that double buyback and the immediate counter pressure to defend their high ground was really nice. Yeah. Very well disciplined, not just immediately buying back, but waiting for the perfect moment to, in order to defend your high ground, not give any additional targets. Your opponents could have been isolated. But Anti-MagE, they get a tier 3, get themselves on the board structurally in that Radiant base. Now, it starts to become a race for the next Roshan. Definitely the flashpoint in the coming minutes for both of these teams.
We're seeing a...
for control.
Sorry, we're seeing a couple 4-steps now coming out for Anti-MagE, which will give them a mobility they've been kind of lacking when these team fights, right? Now you don't depend so much on the Synderen and DNZ disengage here. You have the 4-steps as well, which actually gives you some tools against the Timbersaw. The Juggernaut might want to consider himself a Blunt Dagger if he's going to have trouble with these things. Just so you can kill the supports at this point, you might want to cut the line. Timbersaw's job was that, but he's kind of going for more utility. Wish is finishing up now Ashiva's. Okay. That gives him a lot more kill potential. I like that, actually. Now you can murder the DNZ and not get stuck in the Static Storm.
Yeah, and you're not completely destroyed by AC, Solar Crest, Meld, yeah. Desolator. You do, it's weird to say, but Timbersaw, maybe in this game, definitely in this game, needs some additional armor on top of reactive.
I just mentioned
Spicy.
Just a quick moment. We see, I'm loving Spirit's quick buy, because he had 5 Radiances before, and now he has full Iron Branches. I think he's playing a next level. He knows people are watching the stream. He's like, man, nobody's gonna know my plans. When people rewatch this game, they'll be like, what is this Rubik even buying? Who knows? Taking a page from South American Dota. I like it.
I mean, it was Bob Ross Day the other day, wasn't it? Maybe he's just doing a late tribute.
Oh, we have. Is Bob Ross Day the meme of Tree Day, or is it actually a Bob Ross Day?
I mean, it was like his 70th birthday or something. I can't remember.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you were trolling. All right.
Or no, sorry, no, it wasn't his birthday. It was when he died. My apology. Yeah, he died July 4th. It was an anniversary of something. I just couldn't remember what it was. Now I sound like an asshole.
R.I.P. Bob Ross. We love you here. Gareth is
happy little trees.
Kill off Oracle quickly. No false promise. This is a team fight you want to get ideally. As the Hurricane Pike gains some space to the TA, they're still chasing after her. Toby, but the BKB makes Mage essentially immune. There's 3 cores going after Mage, and now he will lose his Aegis. Where the support help, there's a Static Storm, only catches the Centaur. But it's a start. They can't go inside of that. Synderen trying to get another strike off. Now Mage finds the death. Melds up as the Heavens Halberd annoys him again. They're going for the Juggernaut first. Naive still has that ultimate. He wants to get those Wraithfire Blast, but Mage is low on HP. They get the stun off, and that's perfect. Mage is gone. Now that's exactly what 682 wanted, even if they lose Toby in the process. At least they get Mage. They lost the Omnisesh here though, and the Juggernaut's being pulled back. It seems like Anti-MagE still can fight this general. In trouble. Gets killed off now. And 682 just catching the Scragglers, ignoring the Wraith King entirely. Mage is back,
They
though.
killed Jug,
Mage is back to get his revenge. They're going to kill Jug here with a Desolator meld. And
No
now it's time
buyback.
for Wish to die. He's the last man left, and no reactive armor stacks on him. They got him. They got him. Finally murdering this raid boss Timbersaw. 40 seconds without him. Oh, sorry, 90 seconds
GG.
without him. GG.
That's all they needed. That's all they needed was a fight where they could trade out a couple of non-buyback heroes for the TA's buyback, and now they push for the victory. GG is called. They tap out. 682 are done. Anti-MagE with a victory there in a very close-fought game. 36-41, a 16k lead. It doesn't tell the full story, though. What an absolutely insane back-and-forth, battling, skirmishing game. 41 minutes and 41 seconds with an insane amount of kills.
Very well deserved play by, or win by Anti-MagE there. I think they played to their strengths of their lineup, like I said, constantly getting these chaotic team fights, forcing 682 into pretty bad positions. And in the end, even when 682 did pretty decent team fights, you know, they chased after Mage and they almost got him. They lost so much time in these kind of engagements. They couldn't get their consistency off. They couldn't get their stuns off, their damage properly utilized. And that lack of efficiency because of Anti-MagE's positioning ended up losing the game. Really, really well played, honestly, Anti-MagE. Very deserved victory. But honestly, 682, I know they've lost, I think, all their games, or most of their games this qualifier, but they showed some good Dota here.
Yeah, they are 0-5 now, I believe. But for sure, you know, they've got some raw talent there for sure. Wish and Toby we've known about for quite some time. They've been around in the kind of tier 2, tier 3 European and CIS scene for the past couple of years now. Zipzap, he's been in a lot of high-profile, high-level pubs. You know, Angolier, Spammer. Nice to see him playing, you know, Juggernaut and some of these safe lane carries, getting his job going. But coming up next, probably a more important match as we have Team Singularity against the Hippomaniacs.
Ooh.
Both of these teams vying for top spots. Currently, Hippos at 5 matches, 4 wins, 1 loss. Singularity at 3-1 with 4 matches played. So very close battle between the two of them coming up soon.
That's very exciting. Let's see what happens in the next best of 1. My name's been Dswordfish here with Gareth, and we'll join you guys again shortly. Enjoy some nice orchestral music from the Dota 2 game while we wait for that match to be set up. Until then.